So Penderyn is 21 years old, Welsh whisky company. The original Welsh whisky company was formed in the late 1800s up in Bala in North Wales. It stood the test of time for about 15 years before a combination of the temperance movement and our friends in Scotland forced a closure of the company. There's nothing left in North Wales of the company now, but last year we managed to reopen a distillery in Llandudno, and that was the second distillery on top of our existing facility in Brecon, in the Brecon Beacons National Park, that has been producing award-winning whiskies now for 21 years. The Penderyn brand is sold in over 50 countries around the world. The UK business is obviously important to us, but France, Germany, international markets in the US and now China are also building our business on a global scale. We've been working with travel retail for probably over 10 years in a limited way, with duty-free in the airports in the UK. The expansion into a more global footprint has clearly started during the time of the pandemic, where we managed to open up duty-free business in a number of channels. Clearly, coming here to Cannes last year and the TFWA was a launch pad for the success that we're seeing repeated over the course of the last year. The duty-free business is now probably between 2 and 3% of our global turnover. Ambition is to get that to maybe a much higher figure, maybe double figures, but that's part of our overall spread from being totally UK-based into a more international business. The Penderyn whisky brand is based around two core ranges. We have the Dragon range, which is 3 whiskies, 41% ABV, which we use in a very entry-level way with the UK shopper in the supermarkets such as Tesco, Asda, Morrison. The premium range, which is the gold range that you can see behind me in its beautiful bespoke bottle, that was relaunched in 2017, is our signature product, led by the Madeira finish, which is our house-style product. Above that, we have a series of limited editions, special editions called the Icons of Wales, which celebrate Welsh heritage, Welsh history, and people in the Welsh culture who have contributed to the Welsh story. In the last couple of weeks, we've added 2 more versions to that series. Firstly, the Headliner, which was a product featuring whiskey matured in a Jamaican rum cask, but also celebrating the life of David Lloyd George, the former Welsh Prime Minister, who fundamentally changed the whiskey industry back in 1919 when he introduced the rule around 3 years and a day in terms of maturation for all whiskey in the UK. The number 10 in the Icons of Wales series is called Emo Hid, and you might have seen Michael Sheen celebrating with that and the Welsh football team recently on YouTube videos, and it's a celebration of the Wales qualifying for its first World Cup since the 1950s. We also have a series of special editions, single casks, super premium whiskies, which we launch in really the best markets we work in, where customers, retailers can collaborate with us in choosing the casks, the labelling, the finishing and the packaging, and that enables us to look to the super premium market. I think the agility, flexibility of a business like ours gives us an advantage in a number of areas, in that we can produce a limited edition for a customer from as limited as 60 bottles. And we've had a number of inquiries this week about eye-opening ideas for military organisations, for cruise, celebration cruises that mark that particular occasion, and even individual retailers saying that sounds like a great idea. Next stage possibility, take our own casks into the shops on board, retail stores on ships, and then replicate what we do in the distilleries, where visitors can actually bottle their own Penderyn, label it and make it an exclusive gift in terms of from me to you. And how do we energise that activation in a travel retail environment? I think our business has grown phenomenally over the last couple of years, and I think the pandemic gave people an opportunity to explore more the world of beyond Scotch whisky, and we use the platform of World Whisky to sell Penderyn. There are whiskies being made in over 30 countries now around the world, so from Denmark, Sweden, Mexico, through to Australia, now China, and we're encouraging retailers to think about that in terms of how they merchandise their stores, recognising that, and to give the travel retail environment maybe an edge on its domestic counterparts. That's part of the challenge. I think in terms of the global business, we, as with other operators and brand owners, were impacted for sure by the situation in Russia. We had good business in Russia, which we've chosen to cease, and our partners in Ukraine have recently returned to the table, so are happily buying again, and their business is strong. In terms of the impact of the other element of global economics, if you want to call it that now, clearly there'll be pressure on our cost prices. Cost of barley is going to double in the next year, the cost of glass, cost of packaging, and even the currency issues that we are already facing. We're taking a measured approach to how we reflect that in terms of pricing with our customers. It's very difficult to push the retail prices further on, but we also want to understand that the more we grow, we're going to need to position our products at the right price.